Hello everybody, how are you doing today? This video is going to be on empath struggles and also what your superpowers are. I wanted to do this video because people right now are probably coming into the realization that they are in fact an empath. And I wanted to talk about this because I struggled as I was growing up to hold down, let's just say, a 3D job, right? I felt like very drained when I got home. I was feeling overwhelmed. I would have severe anxiety to where I would just grip the counter on the retail counter. Like, why I thought I could do retail, I don't know, but that's because I was unconscious then of what I was. So to help you, and maybe this sounds like you, so that we can, if you are feeling like you have to take stuff to help your anxiety and everything, let's learn about your triggers so that you can identify them to be able to, say, hey, okay, we identified it. And so I want to do a video next week on, ways to protect your energy and how to combat what you might be feeling right now. Okay. So number one is obviously crowds. Okay. If you're anything like myself, I go to grocery stores and I'm extremely overwhelmed. It's just a lot. Okay. I've learned now that you ground, you protect yourself, put that energy field up when you do go. Small talk. Okay, if you're at how's the weather today? Are you doing all right? Things like that. You're just like, you'd rather not, okay? That's just because you have a lot of energy in you and you're probably thinking about a lot of other things at that moment. Also, like getting messages. That was another one. So feeling rushed. I remember, growing up, I hated, like, you gotta get ready, the bus is gonna be here, the bus is gonna be here. Like, that is just a system bog down overload. I'm not gonna be on that bus probably. The more you keep reminding me, it's gonna have to wait a second. So you might feel like that. It's just like, allow yourself enough time to get ready, allow yourself enough time to do what you need to do, okay? So you're not feeling that, like, overwhelming sense of rush and panic. Arguing and fighting. If you grew up in a peaceful home, great. But if you didn't, you might notice that when you hear arguing or you hear yelling or you hear loud noises or anything, you instantly, your heart sinks, gut tenses up, everything in you just starts just crippling down, right? And that is because these things can trigger you. You are hypersensitive to noises, light, sounds, anything that is disruptive to your system, okay? Not saying that you have to keep yourself in a bubble, but what can we do, to learn how to deal with these things? And that's what I'll get more into in next week's topic. But I want to remind you of something, because a lot of people, and this is a very serious topic, I don't think it's spoke about, is that a lot of empaths become very suicidal. Okay, this is very serious. And mostly it's due to the overwhelming sense of not being able to fit in, the struggle of feeling like, you have to be so independent, but yet you're still trying to find your way, or you're not even sure where you fit in at, okay? So that's when you become in alignment and you start realizing what you're good at. So once you start doing what you're good at, you're going to advance and skyrocket so much quicker, okay? So you might be doing something that you're just not in alignment and you're not meant to do, and that's all right. So I struggled growing up with anxiety, ADHD, couldn't sit still, panic, always like overwhelmed, these messages, or, it's just always moving. And I just had no one really around me that understood. So now, okay, my big old soul family, I love you, because I have a platform now to be able to speak about these things. More than likely, all of us have all been on something for anxiety until we realized what we were, and then we realized we had to raise our frequency, and we know better, we do better moving forward, right? So when these superpowers, okay, they don't seem like it at the time, but you start having, like, all these sensitivities to sound, smell, your frequency is just higher, so even these chemicals and stuff can give you rashes, skin sensitivities, just, you're like, I can't use what I used to use. A lot's changing. But you also are always spiritually connected. When you were younger, you probably knew, you had a very great connection to, like, animals and just people in general. I loved elderly people, and they were just the sweetest things. But you also might be introverted too, okay? That's how you recharge. You know that you can heal yourself. If you have a cold, you're usually better pretty quick. you know, anything that is just rapid healing for you. If you have a cut and you're like, yeah, it's already healed, it's crazy. You have an ability to heal because you are a healer. Let's see. Nature is very good for you. So these are your superpowers. These are what you want to focus on, okay? And being out in nature, going for a walk in the woods might just be the biggest recharge battery for you. Planting your feet on ground, you know, outside, taking your shoes off and just do some grounding to connect to the earth. Lay on the ground, whatever you can do. But you just feel nurtured by nature. It just is so calming for you. And then you have a huge heart, right? You have all this love, you have such a huge heart. And so it's so important that because you have so much to give, you also want to be open to receiving. So always try to stay centered and connected to be able to allow that love to come into your life and, you know, be able to have an equal energy exchange as well, okay? So these are just some of the things. And I wanted to leave you with this. If you are feeling like you're not good enough, or that sounds like me, I feel like I haven't found my way, or I'm not in alignment with my life or what I should do, then reach out to me and let's work together to get you to, you know, peel back the layers and figure out just what is it that I need to do with my life to feel that peace and that joy and that clarity. Because, you know, the more you keep trying to do something that's not in alignment for you, it's not going to work out. And it's so important that you listen to your higher self. It's so important that you say, you know, no, I can't do these things because I'm just not the greatest at it. I remember one time I went to a psychiatrist because I was just like, I needed some help, right? And he said to me, there's just nothing wrong with you. Okay, this is the thing. I was telling him, I feel defeated because I wasn't good at school, or I wasn't good at this. And he said to me, do you paint? Do you draw? Do you do this? I said, yeah. He's like, do you understand that creativity is one of the highest forms of intelligence? And I didn't know that. The biggest smile went across my face, and I was like, wow, really? And he's like, yeah. And so if you're creative and you do anything like that, man, embrace that, because it's just such an amazing gift to be able to have. So look at what you can do, not what you can't do. These are things that people struggle with when you start feeling more sensitive. So you are super and you are powerful, okay? So I love you so very much. I hope this has helped you. I know this is something that everybody kind of starts struggling with and feeling with, but there's hope at the end of the tunnel, and you will find your way. Have an amazing day. I love you guys. Take care.